Our next speaker is Shelley Walters. She's going to chat to you on a topic called Life's a Pitch. Now, I always ask when I'm doing a function like this if I can find out a little bit more about the people I'm introducing. So usually they'll send you either a CV of what they did in their lives or their main talking points of what their unique selling point is, or as sales like to refer to it, their USP. Took ages, by the way, before I worked out what that was. I could not understand why people wanted a memory stick in a sales presentation until someone kindly pointed out that it wasn't a B, it was a P. But the bio that I got about Shelley involved a story that her love of public speaking started when she walked into a church at the age of 6 and started addressing the congregation. And I thought, where was Shelley when Father Tony came to our church? Because she could have given him lessons right from the start. Hopefully another Shelley will join my congregation so that Father Tony can just sit upstairs and sing the songs. Shelley Walters.
It's really unfair that anywhere you go in the world, salespeople get such a bad rap. Life is a series of sales situations, guys. Every day you're selling. It may be your product, your service, but it's probably your point of view, your insight, your brand. We're all selling. And if we live in denial, we can't develop the skills we need to become good at selling. Now, at a crossroads in my own life in 2009, I attended a conference in Brisbane. I was sitting amongst 2,500 people when the speaker looked at me and he said, there are many who want to pastor and many who want to go on missions, but nobody wants to pay the bill. And in that moment, I was completely sold. He changed my life for good. But here's my question to you. Did he motivate me or did he manipulate me? And what's the difference? At the end of the day, I was sold as surely as if I bought a seminar or a book or a product. He sold me on his way of thinking, and that completely changed my life. But salespeople haven't really been done any favors by Hollywood, have they? When we think of a good salesperson, we think of a dwarf-throwing, drug-dealing, billionaire, smarmy guy. Having worked with salespeople and being one myself, I'm quite proud to say, most salespeople that I know all over the world get up early and they go to bed late because they're fully persuaded while you think they're talking bull, actually they're trying to help you to better your life. And maybe it's because we think they're talking bull that we take a step back and we don't want to be associated with them. But maybe they're good people, just like you and just like me. So one of the best salespeople that I know is a guy called Brandon. He runs a foundation called Life Changers in Cape Town. Every day Brandon is selling. He takes gangsters off the street, 11 years old, and he sells to them clean living. Women who've been sex trafficked from the age of 10, he sells to them celibacy. He stands in front of the magistrate and he says, don't send this child to Paulsmoor prison. He's one of the best salespeople I know. My question to you is, what does your sales environment look like? Are you a teacher? Are you a parent? Are you a manager? Are you a project manager? Do you run a logistics or an operations department? Because you're influencing people whether you realize it or not. But if you don't realize it, you can't deal with the challenges. And one of the big challenges is that people's brains are cluttered. WhatsApp messages, unanswered emails, personal and professional agendas, WebEx meeting invites. There's so much for us to deal with in any given day. How can we possibly cut through? And BBC's recently released a study which says that the average human attention span, due to the addictive nature of the internet, has gone from 20 minutes down to 9 seconds. 9 seconds, guys! That means that we have the attention span of a goldfish. And while you've been working all night on your presentation, when you've waited 3 months for that opportunity to pitch to your boss, what's happening on the slide behind me is exactly what's happening in his or her mind. All of these things are going on. And I hate to break it to you, but your message is completely forgotten. Because we haven't worked with the human brain. You can either leverage the brain, make peace with it and work with it, or you can try and work against it. So here's the thing. You make your decisions in your prefrontal cortex, but people listen to you through the reptilian brain. The reptilian brain asks 3 questions. Should I eat it, kill it, or mate with it? Unless it's had a few Jägermeisters, in which case should I mate with it, or mate with it? But you don't want to do that. serving people, understanding their agenda, understanding what it is they're trying to achieve, and understanding their problems. This is how we position ourselves as trusted advisors and experts. Serving is the key to selling. And who doesn't like somebody whose agenda is to help you? So what does a good, strong persuader look like? I believe it looks just like this guy, Tenzing Norgay. So he summited Everest with Sir Edmund Hillary, we know that. But did you know that he climbed every available opportunity over 20 years? So when Sir Edmund Hillary set out, Tenzing Norgay was the obvious choice. He was the expert. He knew the terrain. Are you the expert? Are you the trusted advisor? Because I define your ability to persuade people as the ability to shift your listener's perception of value towards your offering based on how you conduct the conversation or the unique manner in which you sell. How do you navigate and drive the conversation? Do you engineer your conversations? Do you know where you're going to begin and where you're going to end? Because folks, we are drowning in a sea of sameness. We look the same, we sound the same, and I hate to say it, but most of our messages are completely immemorable. How will you stand out in a commercial sea of sameness? How will you let your message stick? The first key is clarity. Be sure of what it is that you're trying to say. Summarize that in short, sharp, punchy sound bites that people can remember and repeat. Remember this: substance triumphs style. In other words, what you have to say is more important than how you say it, or the finesse, or lack of finesse, with which you deliver it. And authenticity. Have the courage to be yourself. In a world that's adept at spotting the bull, be yourself. Because here's a nugget for you: authenticity accelerates trust. The more authentic you are, the greater courage and vulnerability you display, the more likely I am to trust you. If I trust you, I'll take your advice. And then share your insights, because, folks, information is cheap and we're all overwhelmed. If I need information, I have Google. Best you bring me some insights. Use your experience and your knowledge to tell me something that I don't already know. And if you do that, you position yourself as somebody that I can listen to. And then take the time to familiarize yourself with the tools. How can you be a better persuader? Tell stories more effectively. Learn how to paint and color your words. Use visuals. Did you know you're 60% more likely to remember a message if it's drawn out for you old school style or powerful visuals are used? I'll leave you with Jim Rohn's quote: in order to be persuasive, you must yourself be fully persuaded. Effective communicators, people that can influence your life, are fully persuaded that they have a message to share. Thank you very much.